People who are confident and controlling are operating out of their solar plexus chakra. All right, heart chakra, obviously love, relationships are compassion, trust, ability to give, open to change and ideas. The throat chakra is your wisdom chakra and also your communication chakra. And again, you got your third eye chakra, which most people are familiar with, psychic ability and visualization and awareness. But these are some of the things we're talking about. Chakras are aligned with the nervous system, conduit of life. If they're all open, and I would say equally open, then you're going to be balanced. Okay? And what we're going to find out is what happens when you're not balanced and you're relying on certain ones versus other ones.
So that's what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to get into that, as a matter of fact, really quickly right now. The chakra colors mimic the light spectrum and rainbows, which is nature's way of trying to help us realize that there's something important to those colors and the sequence of those colors. Codependencies and attractive forces. Take out the one that has the people on it. I'm going to try to quickly see if this board will erase. How about that? Okay. I'm going to leave the end squared up here because that is a... All right. So I'm going to draw some figures up here, so it'll be a little, just bear with me a second. And we're going to find out, hopefully I can do this relatively. Not bad.
All right.
Let's see if I can do that 3 times. That's what needs to be done. All right, and one more time. Okay. Well, they're not really equal, but all right. So we're going to show you. This is very generalization. It's not meant to depict anybody in this room necessarily. But let's say that one of these is a male figure and one of them is a female. And you can write that on your sheet. And this is what's going to happen when we combine the two. Because remember, one of the things that most people don't realize is that besides trying to achieve core freedom since the time we were born, we're trying to achieve balance. And that's happening on a level that most people don't even realize. It's just happening. We're just naturally attracted to balance. So let's say on a male, if we look at the chakra chart, we're going to say, okay, since the root chakra is primarily physical strength, I guess we can call that a male trait. Is that everybody acceptable with that? More of a male trait? All right, so let's make the root chakra on the male large and the female smaller. Okay, spleen chakra, which is your feeling center. That's emotions. Well, I would have to say that's more of a feminine trait. So we'll say that the woman has more open spleen chakra, and there's another reason for that. Because the spleen chakra is responsible for reproduction. So by default, a woman, because she can give birth, has to have her reproductive chakra open from the time she's born. A man does not. So that's one of the reasons we as men are trained to actually close that down. Don't show feeling. Don't show weaknesses. Okay, so by society and by growth, we're taught to do this. It's not necessarily that way by birth. Okay, the solar plexus chakra, control, confidence, decision-making, but really it's the control chakra. So, and I would have to say that men are a little more controlling than women. I know that not everybody would agree with me. Okay, so the third chakra we're going to make larger on the man and smaller on the woman. Okay, and then the heart chakra. Well, guess who's more compassionate and able to express love? I guess we can say that's pretty much a feminine trait in most cases. All right, so the woman's heart chakra and the man's heart chakra. And you know what? It really doesn't matter about the rest of them. Even though we can say women are often more intuitive, so we'll make the woman's third eye chakra larger than the man's. And, you know, as far as the throat chakra, which is communication, if we took a statistical number of how many male speakers there are in the world versus female, it's not representative of a woman's ability to communicate, but it is more common that the men are the leaders and speakers. So for this exercise, we'll just say, okay, let's make the men's a little bit larger than the women's. All right, now, this is why we're opposites attract. Okay, we're constantly seeking balance, and we don't even know it. So we meet somebody and we go, you know, I like them. I don't know why. And what you find is that if you did this to your relationship with somebody in your life or somebody you used to know, you'd find that this is pretty much what happens. So what we achieve is together we achieve a place where all chakras feel more open. Because what we don't have, our partner provides. Seventh one is the gateway, and it's not as important for your personality issues. Okay, so what often happens in relationships, and this is why a lot of relationships don't last, at least haven't lasted in our recent history, is because two people are attracted to each other to become balanced. And then somewhere along the line, one of the people, let's take the female for instance, gains more confidence. All of a sudden it throws things out of balance. It threatens the balance. Okay, and the people don't understand why, because they were never taught this. They don't understand that balance should not be threatening. Obviously, if the woman's third chakra, which is control and decision making and confidence, opens up, the man's would have to adjust accordingly. He would have to maybe have his feelings center open up more, or his heart chakra open up more, probably to keep the balance maintained. Okay, ideally, we wouldn't get into a relationship until we were at this level. Okay, and that's the ideal goal, is to balance yourself so that when you come into a relationship with another balanced person, you don't have the codependencies, because this is codependency. You don't feel whole without the other person, that's codependency. You don't have balance in yourself, you're relying on somebody else to provide half of it, that's codependency. Okay, it doesn't have to be a 50-50 issue, but as you can see by just the male-female relationship issues, it most likely is in a lot of the cases. Okay, so we have, again, we talked about balancing mind, body, spirit. We talked about now balancing the chakras. Which chakra do you rely on? I mean, based on that chakra chart, you could probably see. If you know yourself well enough, you could say, yeah, well, you know, I'm very confident, I'm very good at decision making, I'm very strong physically, or I'm a very feeling and compassionate person, or I rely on my intuition. Okay, so you can see what chakras you might rely on and what chakras you might be weak on. Now, one of the things that can happen is they can open and close. Okay, they can open and close based on your emotional state. You get into a position of fear, all of a sudden your base chakra, root chakra opens up, and you got your physical attributes there to protect you. And you also might close down your heart if you're hurt by somebody. Okay, so they fluctuate all the time. And having them stay in a balanced state all the time requires releasing pretty much all your fears and addictions and things that close them down. Okay, there's also people out there who will work on people energy-wise and open up their chakras for them. You've heard, I mean, I'm sure people have heard this. And that's great if the people are ready to experience the emotions that are going to come out of those chakras. All right, we close down these chakras because we've had to experience pain. If somebody's had hurt feelings a lot, they may close down their feeling center. And if they've been told they don't, you know, they're not confident and they don't have any abilities to make decisions, they may close down their control center or their third chakra.